everyone. Welcome to today's Blueprint Strategy session. I'm Bryan Caplan with the Bigger, Better Biz community. And today I am joined by the team at Better Redder. How are you, Rebecca and Bill?
Very well, thanks.
We're doing great. Thanks, Bryan.
Wonderful. Now you're all the way in Arizona. Is that right?
We're in Prescott, Arizona, north of Phoenix.
How is that going? Is it nice weather? Because here it's a little chilly over in New Hampshire.
It is beautiful,
nice.
a beautiful fall. Yeah. We have no complaints about the weather here.
That's good. I'm sure it's cooled down a little bit for you because I know sometimes it can get really hot there, right?
Well, we're up at about 5,000 feet, so it stays cooler here than it does down in Phoenix.
Okay, that's good. See, I need to go there. I've only been to Lake Mead, like when we were in Vegas. So I really have to go explore Arizona.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Come through Prescott, we'll
soon.
put you up.
Sounds good. You got it. It's a date. So today what we're doing with the Blueprint session, first, what I'd like to do is tell me your story. You're a husband and wife team working together. How did that come about? How did you find yourselves running Better Redder?
Sure. Well, I have a PhD in American Studies. After I earned that, I went to work for ACT, the college testing company in Iowa City, Iowa, which is where we were before coming to Arizona. And I was director of writing assessments there at ACT. And so gained a lot of experience with student writing, especially students who are coming out of high school and want to go to college. And I saw firsthand through that experience and through my own teaching experience that many students really struggle with writing, and that it becomes an impediment to them once they get into the college classroom. I piloted some writing assessments at a school down in Phoenix, and saw how bright and eager and ambitious those kids were down there. And then when we got them to write in response to our prompt, none of that sparkle showed through. None of that intelligence, none of that creative thinking was reflected in their writing because they had been taught to write in a very bland way. And they had not been taught what to expect in an academic context once they get to college. So anyway, after leaving ACT, I was determined to address that problem, what we call the college-ready writing gap. There's a gap between high school writing and college writing. Mm-hmm. Studies show that the majority of students coming out of high school go on to college. At the same time, the majority of those students are not prepared for college level writing. So we wanted to create a product that would help bridge that gap. We created a classroom instructional resource, online resource called College Ready Writing Essentials. And now we are working hard to market it to schools. We have a K-12 market, we have a higher ed market, and we have a homeschool market. It's aimed at high schoolers who are thinking about or know that they're going to go into college. And what it does is give them the experience and the confidence they need to succeed at writing in the college classroom. So our questions for you, our marketing questions, are really about how do we market to educators, and to homeschool parents.
Yeah, and especially homeschool right now, because we're thinking about the holiday season, and we've got these marketing hours with you, and we want to capitalize on. We haven't really done like a full-blown campaign before, holiday, Black Friday, and all of that, and we just really want to knock it out of the park this year.
We have a lot of expertise around content, around teaching, around writing instruction, around graphic design, around
but not marketing.
But not everything but marketing.
Got all the ingredients. You just need the oven.
Right.
Yep.
That's the big gap for us. So that's why we so appreciate the opportunity to connect with you.
Wonderful. So first off, I got to tell you my background. I don't know if you have it there, but I had IB classes, International Baccalaureate. So instead of AP, so I did IB English. And then I actually was fortunate enough to get into college with all of my English credits. So I know the importance of college ready writing for sure. And especially being in marketing, writing is essential. And the other part of it is that my daughter is going to virtual school right now. So very familiar with that. So it sounds like when we're kind of breaking down, you have those three markets. You have the traditional K through 12, you have the virtual homeschool, and then you have the educators themselves who can refer their students to you. Is that right?
That's right. And we really are in that space where students transition from high school to college. And so dual credit, the kind of experience that you had, bringing all your college credit English classes out of high school into college, that's really a very fertile space for us. Our resource is modular, which means that it can slide into a lot of different kinds of high school English courses, like English 3 and English 4, but also AP, also dual credit courses, any kind of program that is really aimed towards preparing students for college. So that's really one market for us there. The other is these homeschool folks who are constantly looking for high quality resources. They're sort of on their, yeah, they're sort of on their own and self-guided. Parents aren't really always all that confident in either guiding the instruction or selecting the curriculum. And so that's a market for us as well.
We're helping the teachers and the parents as well as the students, because this is all ready to go, easy to use, flexible.
And like you said, modular, so you can plug and play, which is wonderful. I mean, that's a dream for most business owners. So it's good that you've got that. And knowing that you can create content easily, and I did look around the site, I looked at YouTube and such. What assets do you have, or what kinds of things have you used in the past that have helped you to gain new students?
Well, we've done a lot on social media, but not enough. I found it very frustrating so far. Just really gaining traction. It's all about, we've spent quite a bit developing the product and developing the profiles on the social media platform, and we just haven't cracked this nut of, really getting the word out. We have followers, and but it needs to get to the next level at this point.
And with social, like you have the pages, and I think a lot of small business owners that are watching too, they create the page, or someone creates the page for them, and then it's pages. Like, if you build it, they will come. But are you doing anything grassroots style where you're going into groups? Have you found groups on social media, like on Facebook groups where it's homeschooling or virtual schooling, where you're kind of contributing value to those
so
groups?
we have that in our sites, but honestly, it's taken so long. Like my lead magnets still are messed up, my drip series still isn't working. And I did a lot of experimenting, and I really found out that, well, don't even bother advertising or doing anything unless you have those things in place. And so now I'm kind of back to, okay, I got to fix some things, but then I don't want it to take forever because I'm fixing things. So I'm just
So your lead magnets, I did see one on the site, and I'll jump to the site in a second, but I saw that you had a PDF. I think it was 8 tips for getting college ready, something like that.
Explaining the culture of college academics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. What other PDFs or lead magnets do you have right now? Do you have like a nice, robust folder?
Here's the grand vision that we're working on. There's a quiz on the site. On the collegereadywriting.com site, which is the main, it's our product site, but we're using that more than the company site right now.
Okay.
So the funnel we're crafting right now is, there's a quiz, take the College Ready Writer quiz, and to hopefully, parents or teachers, students, everybody can take that and just kind of, figure out where they're at. And, we're hoping some people may be able to write just fine, but others, it should create some concern. And then right on the heels of that, then we offer them a checklist. Okay, if you want to be college ready, and we're working on the checklist. It's not, I think the box is on the webpage, but we don't actually have the lead magnet there yet. It's being designed right now. But the idea is that helps them, a really valuable tool for everybody to just say, okay, if I've recognized that I might have some deficiencies, and now I need to address those, and here are the items to tick off. So those are the two. That's the top of our funnel.
Okay.
Um,
And you're talking about a funnel, which some people may not even be familiar with. So a funnel is basically a series of pages where we're focusing on a singular topic, like let's say the homeschool version, and then we're taking them through what's the value, what are the benefits, how you can get started. And as people go through your funnel, you had mentioned you have the course. Are there upsells as well? Are there other kind of things that can add value to the students?
So we're just starting to add, so I'm really focusing on homeschool right now because of this
Mhm.
holiday campaign that I want to, figure out for, coming up real soon.
Sure.
And so we've just recently added a coaching bundle, and this is all in the works too.
Gotcha.
But a bundle, and we have different tiers of the homeschool products. So there's a full package and a premium package. And now I want to add the premium package with some hours with this guy actually tutoring the kids,
Mhm.
and then just individual hours as well. So we're starting to add more to what the options are.
Understood.
And then the idea is to use those as the upsells. Yeah.
And so everything you've got is on Teachable. That's the learning management system that you're using, right?
For the homeschool side.
For the homeschool side.
On the other side, it's on Canvas.
Okay. On the other side's on Canvas. Okay. So I think for time, we can look at the homeschool side, and then we can
Great.
probably glean quite a bit of insights off of that to borrow from and put into the K through 12. So what I'll do is I'm just going to go through. First thing I like to do is do an exercise where I share the screen with you.
Okay.
And we're going to hit on the site. So collegereadywriting.com. You've got the tagline, no hassle, expert instruction, college ready writing essentials. Okay. So most likely it's going to be a parent that's looking for their kids in this case. My
Or
thing
teacher.
is, or a teacher. So college ready writing essentials, we've got the images of the graduate that I know you've used in others, and then someone just sitting at the computer. I guess my question is, right away, what do you want me to do?
I want you to understand what our course is and feel the need, the need for your writer.
Okay, so feel the need for my writer. And then is there something specific, like if I'm looking at this, and treat me like what you would call the weakest link, the lowest common denominator. I just learned how to get online. I'm looking for my kid or my student. Where should I start?
I want them to know it's an online course.
Okay.
Online writing course is what we've boiled it down to.
Which we've got right here. Perfect.
Yeah. And we understand that it's kind of confusing that there's these two different ways it can go. So I tried to make that, really clear up top. There's two sides to our universe. We've tried to just deal with one side at a time, and we've just kind of landed back to, no, we just need to explain that we have these markets. It would be much simpler for us if it were just one market, but it's not.
No, you got the bifurcation. I think what I'm getting at is I totally know what your goal is, right? What the objective is. But if I come here right at the start, there's nothing that's telling me what to do. So there's no distinct call to action. When we're looking at a site, the first things I look at is, okay, how am I being greeted and what is it about? College ready writing essentials. Good. I would even say we equip you with college ready writing essentials. So that's the value prop of the site. And here we have these images. One thing that I like for websites, I really like the sliders. So you know where the image slides in.
Sure.
Because it's treated like a billboard, and you could have 3 or 4 or 5 billboards that you're sliding through, and people are attracted to that motion, right? So right here, the first thing, the opportunity I see for growth is maybe changing up the header to a slider where we're talking about the homeschooler virtual. We're talking about the K through 12, and we're not making people scroll down.
Okay.
Right. So that's one. And then in there, you can talk about what is offered. You might even, depending on how the site's built, and I haven't jumped in, it looks like, is it built on WordPress?
This site, yes.
Okay. So with WordPress, we may even be able to just embed a video. So I know that you have some videos on YouTube. You could have a video in there too. So we're giving people different ways. going back to, your subject matter, like I look at it as a choose your own adventure book. So I think it's totally fine that you have these two buttons, but I'd like to really promote it and highlight it right up here at the top.
Okay. That makes
And
perfect
yep.
sense.
And even so, K through 12, K-12 and higher ed version, I'd say, K-12 and higher ed, get started, or we'd figure out some call to action, start here, homeschool, start here. So just
Great.
making it simple, right?
Awesome.
I also noticed that the navigation menu is under the header, and I see that it stays. I would want to explore how we could just put it up at the top, because that too is pushing stuff down. So I'd want to put it at the top, have that header sliding, and then have buttons what we want them to do. And in this case, if we're going to have a promotion, I would want to highlight that promotion on the homepage too, which the slider would take care of.
Okay.
Right.
Sounds great.
Yeah. And then the online writing course. Okay. We're talking about 25 research proven lessons completed on your schedule. So this is where I can tell that you're writers, because it's written in prose, right? But if we're thinking through a teacher who is exhausted, or my wife upstairs, but granted, my kids are 5 and 7, they're not ready for college ready writing, but the parent that's working maybe from home and then checking their kids' work, making sure everything's going well, we need to be really quick bullet points. Here's what you're going to get. So I call that an offer stack, right? What are you getting from this?
Okay.
So instead of it being hidden in a paragraph, you're going to get 25 research proven lessons you can complete on your schedule, on your timeline. And we can basically hit those 4 or 5 points. That way too, now people are seeing, okay, at the top, we have these 2 options. We have this promotion, which we're running with. And now as you scroll down, here are the things that we're going to do for you.
Great.
Right.
Much easier.
Yeah. And the name of the game, especially, I love that you're dealing with funnels, because the whole idea of a funnel is to get them to make a micro commitment, to get them to go one more step. So this is where now those videos that we have on YouTube, I would want to maybe pop some of those in here, right? Okay. So now we get to know you and Bill. We get to know our instructor. We get to know who actually created the course, why we created it. So I'd want to see some of that too. So now I get your personality, and it's just that know, like, and trust model. Sure. So I can feel better.
Okay.
Yep. And then, okay, dress rehearsal this is actually great. Your dress rehearsal for success. That could you could pop a video in telling them instead of writing it. So I lean towards video, as you can tell. We're doing a lot of video, and it's going to be ad nauseum in 2022. But the reason why I like video is because the text is great for Google search. Wonderful. We're getting, hopefully we're getting indexed properly. If people are looking for college ready writing, you've got the brand name, you have the headlines and the keywords on the page. That's great. But there's going to be a lot of people that are looking for college writing tips, essay tips, even those things that are, like juniors, how to prepare for college. Those are all videos that we can put up on YouTube, which you already have the channel, and then embed in here. Now it's going to really boost. It kind of really packs a punch for SEO.
Nice.
So you're saying add videos to the text rather than replace the text?
You can, yes. So your video can complement the text, or it can supplement it.
Okay.
Either or. And that's where, as you go, especially if you're doing funnels, you can test. So I'm not, we've worked in Teachable a little bit, but I know most funnel systems, they have it where you can do a page variant. So you can try one versus the other. You might have a page variant where you have what's called a video sales letter. It's you two sitting down and talking about why you started this and what they can expect, what the benefits are. Or you could have that full kind of written letter, those old Gary Halbert sales letters where you're talking about, here's the challenge we saw, here's what we did in order to really kind of meet that need in the market. And so step forward with confidence, right? Am I ready for it? Can I do the work? This is great. And are these real students that you've worked with, or are they stock photos?
No, they're stock photos.
Okay, no problem. So what I would say is here, so now like kind of going through this rationale, if you will, we've hit them with motion so that we can get their attention, hopefully get them to click on something, the promotion, or they kind of qualify themselves into one of those 2 buckets. We have down here where we have the offer stack, we're telling them what the benefits are. And again, we're presenting them with the option to click So now they're a little bit more inclined. We're going down here. That's where video. So now they're getting to know you a little bit better if they have to be sold. And then here, step forward with confidence. That's where maybe I want to capture some testimonials and show them right there.
Okay.
So I'd like to see some social proof.
Mhm.
And there's bonus points here if we can get the social proof from verified third parties like a Google business profile review or
Mhm.
on Facebook or somewhere else where we can grab those and pop them in instead of just that regular text that you would copy and paste because anyone could write that.
Right.
Right. So that's going to be like, okay, let me learn more. And I see that you have the link. So let me click on that and see where we go. Okay, so it comes back to the holiday, basically that page that you created on Teachable for,
Teachable, yeah.
okay, so for homeschool. Got it. Let me close that. Zoom is not liking me right now. Okay, so even there, if it says about Better Redder, but what I would,
It actually, I don't know what happened there, but it actually
Yeah.
goes to the page that you turned off. It goes to our about page, and then it scrolls down to Better Redder.
okay.
Yeah.
So it did this. I clicked on the wrong one. Got it. Okay.
Ooh, that's
So
messed up.
that's okay. Just,
I don't know what
that's
happened
just,
there.
yep, that's fun coding.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love these. Oh, handsome little guy. I love that. So we've got that too. And so this is just talking. I like this page, how it's the about wonderful. This is what I'm talking about. We're getting to know you, your backstory, all that stuff. And if we can pop that into a video too and make it nice and concise. And when I'm talking about a video, I mean, it's 30 seconds to a minute. Your attention spans are declining at a rapid pace now.
Right.
So micro content, really quick. What are you going to get? How to get started, done.
Okay.
Right? Let's go back here. Okay. The number one skill linked to college success. Is not often discussed enough. Fact, writing. So I like what you're doing because you have these different kind of pattern interrupts where you're presenting a different topic. You're talking about how you're approaching it. Who said, I like the questions, who says so, those types of things. I like that. I think that these stock photos probably could go.
Oh, really?
Be,
Okay.
I think that we could use a couple, but if anything, if we're going to use these stock photos, I want them to be linked so that they're bringing me somewhere. Because right now they're just a bunch of stationary photos, and I'm confident that someone might come on and click this, and then they do the elevator click to close the doors, and they get frustrated and they're like, I'll go find something else. So we don't want to leave anything up to chance for them getting frustrated by the experience.
Okay.
And again, that's where you could have, instead of this grid, we might be able to use these same photos and put it into, again, maybe a slider or kind of a carousel that's showing different students and stuff, if you want to maintain those. Now, one of your big lead magnets is all the way at the bottom, right? So taking the quiz, if I click on that, I love that it's embedded right here. And so this is going to be the parent that's taking it. Yes. Okay. It auto advances. I'm just going to,
Yeah, there's 10 of them.
I'm going to choose all C's on the Scantron. Bill, you can appreciate that. There we go. Okay. Bravo. Based on your response, it sounds like your writer 100% prepared. Awesome. I am. Get the checklist. And then, as you said, you're getting, the checklist isn't done yet, but you basically,
I still have to work through all this.
no problem. And that's fine. With this, are you finding anyone has signed up yet?
We get a few people, but
okay,
not anything like what I want yet. We're not driving much traffic to the site yet.
And a question too, like if I went back and I did the quiz again, and let's say that I scored 50%, would I still be brought to the checklist?
Yes.
Okay. So it's more of just like an interactive mechanism, which I love.
Yeah.
So I would even say, the big thing here is the quiz is fun and it's interactive. And that's something that parents might want to do because it helps them to reflect and be introspective. What I would say is if we were to add a slider, the quiz could be one of those sliders.
Oh, yeah.
But right. And then the other thing is, I would say, since we have this lead magnet that you're creating, that's, I think, is probably going to be one of your best assets, this checklist. Succinct, easy. I can download it. I can print it out. I have it on my computer. Now I know what I need to do. It's going to have your branding on there. That's going to be huge.
Mhm.
So I would want to highlight this on the site. I would put this in the navigation menu, grab the checklist. I would have the slider for it. I would have a button somewhere. Even maybe under here, your dress rehearsal for success, get started with our checklist.
Mhm. So
So
even before the quiz, like, don't worry
Mhm.
about.
quiz is fun, but the thing with the quiz, as we saw when I went through it, is that you're not collecting my contact info yet.
Right, right.
So I could get through 4 or 5 questions, be like, I'm done. And
Yeah.
then, and especially someone like me with ADHD, you get to question 5 or 6 and it's like, okay, great, I'm doing wonderful. Okay, on to the next thing, right? So we want to capture their attention, or capture their contact information. So that's where I would really focus on the lead magnet. Have the quiz as a kind of fun thing that you can send out. You can use that as a tool, like if you're sending emails, you can put in your drip campaigns just to get some interaction. Definitely.
Okay. But stop thinking of it as the top of the funnel then. The checklist is really, I'm just trying to collect the email.
Yes.
Mhm.
Top of your funnel is, and here, let's actually go over to this page and we'll talk about this a little bit. So free PDF, college ready writer checklist. We'll walk you through the exact skills your students need to practice in order to write at the college level. Download and cross them off. Okay, get them ready. So we've got the email, first name, last name, which best describes you. Okay, so totally fine. First thing I look at is the form itself and how many fields we have. You've got 4 fields. I love that you are collecting and siloing the first name and last name so that you can personalize the emails. Because I can't stand when I get an email that says, hello, Bryan Caplan. It's like, okay,
Right.
right. So we've got that. This one, I would say you could maybe, if it's possible, change it to a drop down, because someone's going to click in and get confused. And again, confuse them, you lose them. So they won't click the yes, please.
Right.
So simple and easy, what best describes you? Boom.
Do you think
That
it's
would
worth
be it.
having that? Like, I hate having the extra field, and yet I also feel like it's really important to separate our audience because they are such
Yeah.
different sides of the universe.
There's 2 schools of thought. We could qualify them here on the form itself, or once we get their information, we could send them a follow-up survey. Hey, we want to make sure we're sending you the best information and the most relevant information and content. Can you just tell us what best describes you? And you could ask another question or 2. That way you remove that 4th field, which could be an obstacle. And then
Right.
if they do submit that info, even better.
Okay.
With email, what are you using to send out email?
ConvertKit.
ConvertKit. Okay. So I'm sure ConvertKit, we could do like a poll or something where they can self-qualify.
Yeah, I was just working on that the other day, and I was like, well, maybe I don't need the field on the on the sign up there. So
yeah, and for anyone watching, the more fields, the more opportunities you give them to type something in, the more opportunities you give them to get confused and leave.
Right.
So yeah, remove it. And then if anything, if I think it's a test, right? Remove it for a month and then have the first email saying, thanks so much. Here's your checklist. Hey, do us a favor. We want to send you the right content. Can you just tell us, choose which one best qualifies you or describes you? Yep. And then for that month, if you actually get people responding, then it works. If not, we can go back to this and add it in again.
Great.
The other thing that you can do, if we're thinking about, of course, efficiencies, right? So if someone's clicking to the checklist page, they might be clicking from the K-12, they might be clicking from the homeschool. You could just have 2 pages that have a hidden field that say, hey, this is from K-12 or this is from homeschool. So it takes care of it already.
I have not heard of hidden fields.
Yeah, I assume ConvertKit can do that.
Oh, that's really helpful.
Yep, my business partner Jake, who you'll be working with too, he's worked in ConvertKit. I haven't, but usually you can add a hidden field, or you just are creating a form that is denoted like this came from the homeschool, this came from K-12.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. So I should make more use of that. Okay.
And that way it can auto tag them. puts
Mhm.
them into the segmented lists, and then you're off to the races with your drip series.
Great.
Now, I'll tell you this too, testing out things that we could do is, again, put in, like, we have this paragraph really quick, and I know we're trying to get them to fill it out, but hey, here are the main points. You're going to get this, this, this. So we could, again, test a paragraph versus bullet points, what they're going to get. What can you expect?
Oh, and the actual checklist description.
Yep. And
Okay.
even here, the title, College Ready Writer Checklist Free PDF, I'd say get your College Ready Writer Checklist, or
Mhm.
download your free College Ready Writer Checklist.
Okay.
So be very deliberate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we go into Bill a little bit more. We can jump over to him, and then we see, okay, the misalignment between high school and college. So this is totally fine to have. I would say let's have another call to action underneath. So every time you're adding something on a page, especially if we're treating it like a funnel, we got to give them the option to do something afterwards.
Okay.
So that it could be a button, get college ready, and it goes to the checklist.
So basically,
Or
every section of the WordPress site, some kind of button, call to action.
some kind of button, call to action, text link, something so that they can act on it if that's
we keep
the
expecting
information.
people to read things because we're so oriented
Yeah.
towards writing.
Yeah. Trust me.
And I know it's a handicap that, you know, we
Nope.
think like that, but
Well,
we can't
it's
help
good.
it.
It's good though, because you're obviously showing your writing skills, which is
Yeah.
very important. But and even in the text, I mean, just adding text links, you know, just the call to action, download the free checklist, do this. Those are things that are going to help too, just because we're all hardwired to follow instructions.
Right.
So definitely. And then let's see down here. So we've got the stats, which are great. Totally fine. Creating a bridge. And again, this is where, so I guess a question for you is, when people are coming in, let's say that, you know, we're focusing on the homeschool version. Are they contacting you for info? Are they downloading a resource you have? Are they doing the free course that you offer, the mini course? What are they doing?
I would say the most effective thing so far has been the free mini course. We get a lot of signups, but then it doesn't convert very well. And I haven't tended to why it doesn't convert. I think it scares people, frankly, because it's not an easy course.
Okay.
So
do we need to?
Yeah, there's the mini course.
The mini course.
Mm-hmm.
So on that mini course, got it. We have all of these. Love it. That's a very robust mini course. I mean, that's a lot of value. I almost wonder, could you cut down the mini course? Could you give them just a taste?
Yeah,
just a bit.
We previously, so what you see, there's actually two different mini courses that we combined. Our first attempt was the quick guide to the #1 skill. And then our second attempt was, what is college ready writing and why does it matter?
Mm-hmm.
And then we thought of having the sneak preview to get them into the actual buying the course. And I don't know, it's just a mess.
It's a lot of reading and not much doing.
Yeah.
Gotcha. With Teachable, so like if it's going to make me sign up probably. If I were to jump in, I know that the content's locked. If I were to jump in, it's really, like you said, it's just reading. So there's no quizzes or interaction at all.
No.
Okay. So maybe could we go back to the drawing board? You know, having all these parts, I can totally understand, again, if I was a parent or even a teacher with limited time and energy, that this is overwhelming. So could we turn it into a 3-part thing that just covers some of the main points, and then have some resources in there, like the checklist to download, like some of the videos that you've made before,
so
or even a quiz?
How would you frame that? What would you say is the sweet spot here, as far as, like, we liked all of this because it provided value, but if it's overwhelming, then it's not that valuable.
What I've learned, and I'll tell you from experience, because we create guides, courses, ebooks, all that stuff, you put a lot of love into it in TLC, and most people just don't have the bandwidth to take it all in. So it's like, how can we do the Cliff Notes version? I'd say the sweet spot is, it's 3 modules with some resources, really quick and easy.
Do you think that the free mini course is a good idea in itself?
I do, as long as we're collecting their information ahead of time. So I can see right away that if I click on the mini course, it's telling me enroll in the course for free. It's showing me all of these modules. And right away, I'm like, that's a lot of work. So I'm going to get overwhelmed and I'm not going to start or anything. So I would almost say the mini course can be a nice gateway or stepping stone to the paid version. And that's where the mini course, I would want it behind a lead magnet. Get access. So right away, let's grab their info and then send them to this page so that they can sign up. Or give them, if you can, a preview that's unlocked.
So I get their email for signing up for the mini course. I'm not sure what happened when you signed in right there.
It says sign up with email or continue with Teachable, but so I think again, it comes down to what are we presenting and what's the, what are we telling them they're going to get in the page? We've got the curriculum, but we don't have tons of information or a video that's saying, here's what you're going to get in this mini course. And then once you complete the mini course, here's what you can look forward to. So that might be something too. Right. Another quick video. Okay. You'll get their email, which is wonderful. I would test it. Maybe you try a 3-part mini course. I think the big thing is with all of these and where we're seeing a lot of information marketing going, these course creators, everybody's creating courses now. It's the perceived value, right? So how can we increase the value perception and give them more resources that you already have, stuff that you've already written for them to review and look at, any kind of worksheets or exercises that aren't going to be any skin off your back, but they're added value for them. Mm-hmm. I would like to see a few of the courses, a few of those modules, and then more resources so that you could say, here's everything you're getting in the mini course. And if you sign up now, you're going to get this. So we'll bring you to the next step and kind of increase that value perception.
Okay.
Yeah. I just think, again, to limited bandwidth and being overwhelmed.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And I would say the bulk of the emails we have come from this mini course, but I don't know what to do with them after that. Mm-hmm. They've just been sitting there waiting for me to figure this out.
Gotcha. And that's where you're saying your automation and your drip series is kind of neglected. Yeah. Totally fine. How many emails do you have?
Email subscribers or?
Yeah. Like
it's a couple
guesstimate.
hundred.
Okay, great. And those are pretty recent?
Over the past couple of years.
Okay. So some of them may have already gone on to college.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have those tracked? Well, when they subscribe, so we can kind of figure it out, but you don't know what year they are, so they may.
Exactly. But I have some from like 3 years ago, and I'm like, okay, it's too late to help I'm not going to worry about those people, but the much more recent people, I want to solve this soon.
Mm-hmm. I'll give you 2 things because I have to go take my kids to ninja class pretty soon. but I'll give you 2 things for that. So kind of some food for thought. 1, let's look at your list and take the subscribers that signed up 2 years ago, maybe 18 months ago plus. We can send them a holiday email and we can say, hey, do you have a younger sibling or a family member that might be getting ready for college? Right. Could they benefit from this? Here's something that we're offering right now. Here's the mini course. Could you forward this email along or share it on social so we can help others get ready for college writing? Mm-hmm. So that's one. And then, for those of you watching too, we're talking about automation or a drip series. So the whole thing here is someone enrolls in the course, we get the email. I'm guessing, do you have an integration where you're automatically sending it to ConvertKit to your email marketing platform?
Yes.
Okay. So then they're basically, you've already got that step. You don't have to be downloading a list and uploading. Now they're in a segmented list. It's just a matter of creating campaigns and scheduling them out.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Gotcha. So how do you have any campaigns that you've written and they're kind of sitting there in draft form that you just didn't schedule out?
Oh, I've made many attempts. I get
Okay.
so bogged down in how to do it and what the best thing is.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a welcome series that's, almost there, and we've tried the holidays the past 2 years, and, with not great results.
It's tough.
It's
You're
tough.
competing. I mean, you're competing against,
So I've been,
materialism and merchandise. So it's
yeah.
tough. People are kind of like, okay, this is my break from education with the holidays. So,
Right, exactly.
yeah.
Um,
And the fact that you're offering up to 25% off and you're finalizing that promotion, I think that can help. And especially if we can, what I would say is, let's find a way to make it fun. So
Mhm.
can you two be sitting down with the fire behind you or with some Christmas regalia or whatever you have, right? And could you do something where, hey, we want to give back, here's what we're doing. So just something fun that we could embed in an email and send out, that we could put on social media to share it. I would definitely like to see that. I think for the emails, since you've already worked on stuff, that gives us a really good base to work off of. And as we jump into ConvertKit, we can figure out what we can use so that we can just reduce, reuse, recycle and get something going. The whole thing is, let's just get something if we can start sending out.
Right. So we're really committed to trying to do, I just kind of poked at it the last couple of years around the holidays because you had to try, but I really want to have a coherent game plan this year.
And honestly, for you, I think it's kind of, you might get some buy-in for the holidays with a promotion like that. I think more so it's going to be, how do we continue to touch them? And how do we continue to stay in front of them after the new year when it's like, oh yeah, back to school.
Right. I want to
That's,
capture the names more than anything else, but
Yep.
and some
So
sales. But
I think your checklist, I think if we can figure out the mini course, we have that. Those are the two assets that we can use as lead magnets to then start growing that list and send out stuff right away. Yeah.
Great.
Wonderful. Was this helpful?
This was so helpful.
It was
I
great.
can't tell
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you,
Good.
Bryan.
I hope that I used proper grammar throughout my dissertation.
A+.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Wonderful.
Thank you.
So what we'll do is, obviously we're going to share this on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, and we'll let you know when we do. I know that you're working with our team on marketing hours, and I really appreciate that too.
Yes.
For all of you watching at home, you are welcome to apply for a blueprint strategy session with me. It's just like this. We go through your marketing questions, I answer them, and hopefully give you some takeaways that will help you grow that bigger, better business I'm always talking about. Until next time, I'm Bryan Caplan. This is Rebecca and Bill. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Everyone, here's to your success.